In this video, we will talk about tools for modifying existing elements. This includes tools such as copying, moving, rotating, mirroring, and more. Now let's open the building structure and set only drawing file 4 to be active. Before we start with the tools, I'd like you to focus on the action bar. It is divided into two parts. The blue, left part, represents the tools that are linked to the tab we are in, which, in this case, is Elements. The gray, right part, represents all the Modify tools. It does not change and remains the same regardless of which tab we are currently in. In some tabs, we also have a bluish part, which is Quick Access, and it's located in the middle of the toolbar. This tools also change depending on the tab. In order to start with Modify tools, let's make a wall on which we'll practice. I'm currently in the Elements tab, and I'll click on the Wall command, then one left click somewhere on the plan, and another left click to enter its length. Press the Escape key twice to cancel the command. If the wall doesn't look the same, don't worry, for now it doesn't matter, and we'll talk about wall settings later, in the separate video in this course. As we have already talked about navigation within the Allplan, like scrolling wheel is used for zooming, also it is important to mention the selection methods. One way is to simply left-click on the element, and it will get a red color. Probably will appear some input options for small changes. The points located at the ends are called handles, and by clicking on one of them, we can stretch the element. One click to start, and another click to finish. Another way to know that you have selected an element is by the changed appearance of the palette on the Properties tab. Currently, as you can see, the name of the element is written, and below are its settings. To cancel the selection, press Escape. Another way of selection is with a blue or green window. If we left-click and drag from right to left, it's enough to just cut a small part of the element, and Allplan will select it. While dragging from left to right, we need to include the entire element. We'll use the Escape key all the time to exit or cancel the current command, so you better get used to it as soon as possible. The position of the hands while working in Allplan will often look like this. The left hand will be at the end of the keyboard on the Escape key, while the right hand will control the mouse. Simply, Escape is a very important key for us, and over time you will see how often we use it. The first tool in the Edit section is Copy. Let's click on the tool, and in the dialog line, Allplan will tell us that we have activated the Copy command, followed by a text with instructions on how to successfully use the tool. Of course, you are listening to my instructions now, but in the future, if you are using a tool for the first time, the dialog line can be useful. So we are in the Copy tool, and let's select the element we want to copy. We can select the wall by clicking on it or by dragging it. Let's use a click method, and Allplan will ask us from which point we want to copy. So I will choose, for example, one of the corners of the wall. One click here, then click again on the place where you want to make a copy. I am still in the Copy command, and I can continue to copy our element. Once I'm done with copying, I'll press Escape few times. Also, we can select the element first, and while the element is selected, start the Copy tool and execute the command. But in that case, I can only copy the element once. In this way, after copying, Allplan exited the command. So there is a difference between these two methods. It is always recommended to start the tool first, and then select the desired elements, because in that way we get the possibility of multiple copying. Move is located next to Copy, and we will run the tool. Again, select the element you want to move, and then the point from which we want to move. I'll select one of the wall edges, and then click on the desired point. If you want to move an element to a certain distance, you need to open the tool, select the element, choose from which point, and then, in the lower part of the screen, enter the desired value in the X, Y, or Z direction. So I'll move my wall by 100 centimeters in the X and 150 centimeters in the Y direction. Confirm the values by pressing the Enter key. If you look at the dialog line or at the icon in the action bar, you will see that the Move command is still active, and I can continue to move elements. To exit, just press the Escape few times. When you press Ctrl, you get this small sum sign that is near the cursor, and we use it to select multiple elements individually. hold Ctrl and click one element at a time to create a sum. To remove an element from the sum, just click on it again. Now you can copy or move the elements you have selected. When you want to exit a command, sometimes it's enough to press the escape key once or twice. But if you are still not sure that you have exited the command, feel free to press escape key several times. Nothing bad can happen. Deleting objects and elements is very simple. Just select the desired elements and press the delete key. However, sometimes Allplan does not allow us to remove some elements in this way, and then we need to use the delete tool. I'll press the keyboard shortcut Ctrl+Z for undo to go back one step, or click the back arrow at the top of the screen. Delete tool is located here and works by clicking on it and then selecting everything we want to delete. Just don't forget to click escape few times to exit the command. In the next video, we'll continue with the modify tools, so stay tuned for part 2.